We had talked before about Rishi Sunak's nightmare after Christmas, that almost as soon as the Christmas period ends, all these hard right factions in the Tory party are going to go right back into the Commons committee rooms, into sort of the Parliament when it's sort of being debated on, all about the Rwanda Bill, and they are going to go hard. They want this bill to be as hard as possible. And then, as we've said before, how does this pass? Do these amendments make it past other readings? Do they even survive? Do the moderate Tories go, yeah, we ain't voting for that? So the likelihood of this bill passing, as we've said before, just gets thrown up into the air and landing who knows where. But regardless of what happens, it ends up for a colossal nightmare then for Rishi Sunak. Because then, as many people were possibly speculating about at the time, does this become almost a sort of semi vote of no confidence in Rishi Sunak? Because we know that if those voters, if those right wing sort of MPs for the Tories had not abstained and they had voted no, the bill would not have passed. And then, of course, the chaos, as we talked about at the time, would ensue. But this is going to go now forward into next year, where not only is now Rishi Sunak going to have to fight those battles in the committee rooms, on the floor, there are going to be MPs briefing against other Tory MPs in, some good old fashioned blue on blue. And that's only the Rwanda bill, because now Rishi Sunak potentially might also have to fight another Trielection or by-Trielection. Yeah, it's a by-election, but there's 3 of them, so it will be a whatever. So, anyway, anyway, let's I've thrown myself for a loop there. Anyway, let's crack on, shall we, and talk more about this. But before we do that, please do remember to click on the like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below there are links to my Patreon page and an invitation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can buy me coffee. And of course, there is the YouTube thank you button. There is the Pony Club down below as well. And of course, the Patreon as well. And of course, it is Wednesday, so there will be a new video for you Pony Clubbers and, of course, the Patreon members as well. So look out for that soon. I will be recording it after this, but this will be coming out later, so it should be already up. So go watch it if you haven't watched it. But anyway, as always, thank you very much to all those people who do help and support the channel. And like I say, even if you do, just click on the like and share button. Like I say, thank you so much for all the support you do show the channel. So, what has happened? Well, the first, of course, one that we knew already coming down the pipe was Blackpool South. Because that particular MP had been caught up in a lobbying scandal. Turned out he'd been, well, being lobbied by the gambling industry, while not, shall we say, being overly honest that he actually was, while advocating for reforms to the gambling industry. Of course, that was a big no-no. There is now a by-election, of course, in Blackpool North. The other, of course, one yesterday that was announced last night was, of course, Peterbone. Turns out the recall election had gone through. That recall election had worked. You've now got Peterbone's seat now up for grabs. And we still don't know this. At the time of recording, we still do not know what Miriam Cates has done to, quote, bring the House into disrepute under what she's being investigated for. There's a lot of speculation going on. But at the moment, we do not know. We do not know what she's being investigated for. Um, but again, lots of speculation out there. But ultimately, it does look like she might go as well. So now you've got a situation where you've got another tri-election going on. And if you look at the polls this time, there ain't no ULEZ. There ain't no anti-ULEZ campaign that can try and save, Rishi Sunak just this time. Because this time, when you look at the voting intentions, especially Blackpool North and Penistone Stocksbridge, they are going to go to Labour. Peterbone's seat, I think it will be a very hard fought one, but ultimately that could also potentially go maybe to Labour, maybe it goes to the Lib Dems, who knows? But as we've said before, just last time this happened, if all three are Conservative losses, puts a lot of pressure on Rishi Sunak. Now, we only held two. No, we only held one. He managed to hold Uxbridge, and that was an incredibly narrow victory by 400 votes. It was very narrow. But, oh my God, look how well we did while they lost two other seats. Wasn't, shall we say, the big endorsement. And as you may remember, I had said if they had lost all three, the summer of chaos we would have seen would have been 10 times worse. 10 times more. It would have not have been a peaceful summer by the sea for Rishi Sunak. That's for sure. But, of course, we've now also got speculation that the general election we could see will be in the first half of 2024. So we could almost go in, if Rishi Sunak knows he's got these by-elections, knows that it's going to be embarrassing, knows that this bill is going to be, heavily fought over, heavily argued about, that it's not going to sort of, cover the Conservative Party in glory again. Do you just go general election? It is honestly looking like we are going to get an early 2024 general election. And, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Then, of course, even that is, of course, speculation. And that is, of course, based on Jeremy Hunt and what he said in the autumn budget. But honestly, we still do not know when the next general election is going to be. I thought generally there was going to be this one this year. I generally thought there was going to be a one this year. But as further we got on, as we passed some sort of, key dates, it became very clear that wasn't going to be the case. Situations changed. But now you've had a year effectively in charge of Rishi Sunak. Sunak hasn't turned this around. And the Conservatives have got two choices. Either A, they go to the polls with Sunak, or they get rid of Sunak and go with someone else. And that is still very much a potential option for the Tories to consider. Do they go to the polls with Sunak, or do they go to the polls with someone else? Because Sunak, once again, isn't exactly wowing voters, even Conservative voters. So what will happen next year? Well, ultimately, as we said, the Rwanda Bill is going to cause massive headaches, massive arguments within the Tory party, which is going to be fun to watch and see, as you all know. And of course, we're going to get possibly another tri-election. That's, of course, if a general election doesn't beat us to it first. We'll have to see what happens, but already 2024 looking like it's going to be quite interesting. So, as always, thank you very much, of course, for watching. And we'll see you all, of course, next time. So please don't forget to click on the like and share button on your way out. And of course, we'll see you all soon.